Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, we all think of cruising as this luxury trip to Fantasyland sort of thing, right? It's out in the ocean, it's in the exotic destinations, you're served hand and foot, you have your own private room steward, you have food in abundance, right? It's just amazing. But there are some things that cruise lines are advertising out there and saying, hey, look at this and look at this and oh, look at this. But there are some things out there they absolutely will never tell you. Well, let me just caveat that by saying they will tell you, but they will tell you in the smallest print possible. They will definitely not have this in any of their advertisements out there. So number one out there is, yes, they will leave you behind. If you are out in a cruise destination, it does not matter where you are in the world. You could be at a private beach that only has a population of 30 people, and if you're late to the ship, they will leave you behind. They always usually have a little bit of a leeway time for pier runners and things like that, but it's not a great deal of time. Sometimes it's as limited as 10 minutes. So whatever you do when you're on a cruise ship, make sure you know what time to be back on the ship, make sure your watch is the correct time, and make it back to the cruise ship. One of the other things people like to do on cruises is shop. They like to shop in the ports. They like to shop on the ship. They have very many luxury brands on cruise ships. And while those tend to be a little bit more reasonable markup compared to land things, what really has a big markup is the everyday things. So if you go to a sundry shop on board and you're looking for something like sunglasses, or you're looking for mosquito repellent or sunscreen or razor blades, what they won't tell you is even bags of chips or chocolate. Those things can have a 400% markup or more. So if you're looking to buy something on the cruise ship, maybe try and remember those things. Remember your razor blades, remember your toothbrush, remember your sunscreen, because if you don't, you're going to pay a lot more on the cruise ship. Many people now buy drink packages. They are often promoted, right? You get the all-inclusive, the free at sea with Norwegian, the Princess Plus with Princess Cruise Lines, etc. Get it all. Get the drink package. And then you get to your room and you say, hey, I got a fridge. I got a fridge mini bar in my room. And you open it up and there's some alcohol. There's lots of drinks in there, and you start drinking. And you soon realize, when you get the bill, that is, that your minibar is not included in your drink package. Everywhere else on the ship is included in your drink package, but your minibar stateroom, it is not. And you're going to get hit with some huge charges, because those prices for a little bottle of alcohol, you could go to the local liquor store and buy 6 or 7. It's sometimes incredible how much they charge you. Number 4, if you tend to get a little rowdy or misbehave, they actually do have a jail on board, and they will lock you up in it if you're one of those passengers that cause a little bit of a disturbance on the cruise ship. They have a full security force on board, and they do have a place to actually lock you up on the cruise ship. A little mini jail, if you will. So, yeah, be on your best behavior, and that should be going for everybody on a cruise ship, because it makes it much more enjoyable for everybody. And you don't want to be that person that everyone's cheering when they drag you away to a cruise ship jail. Another thing cruise lines never advertise that they will do is, hey, you know that once in a lifetime destination you booked for this cruise that you really wanted to get there? Yeah, we might just not go. There's lots of reasons we might not go. We might decide it's too crowded in port to go, like we just had with Princess and the Sun Princess canceling Santorini, the bucket list area in Greece. too crowded in port, so we're going to go someplace else. Or maybe too rough a seas, we can't tender in that day. Or we decided to change the itinerary completely because of weather someplace else, that we don't want to head into a storm. There's tons of reasons that things that can be canceled, and they don't have to give you any notice. They don't have to give you any refunds. They do not have to compensate us in any way, and it's right in our cruise contract. Many cruise lines, depending on the change and everything, will offer something. Say if you can't tender and then you miss another cruise port, they say, well, here's $25 in onboard credits. But if you expect any kind of big refund, chances are you're going to be very disappointed. Number 6, this goes especially for brand new cruise ships or cruise ships repositioning. Not everything may be running. Not everything may be going. Cruise lines send out notices saying, hey, by the way, on that cruise you're about to do, we're going to close this, because we're making changes on it. Or if you book an inaugural cruise and you expect it to be up and full running at all times, look at the Sun Princess we were just on. Every single show was not running when we were on the ship. None of their 4 brand new theater shows, none of their 3 new big dome shows, none of them were running. And we were on the 3rd sailing of that season. And they were still working on their shows. So not everything can be running. And it's not just Sun Princess that we were on. I've been on many, many cruise ships that suddenly you get on and say, oh, by the way, yeah, the roller coaster on Mardi Gras is not working this week. We were doing repairs on it. Or the ropes course is closed. Or we're doing some work in this dining room and that section is closed off. Or this specialty restaurant's under renovation, unavailable. Not everything can be running. And if you expect compensation because of it, you're probably out of luck as well. Number 7 is crime happens. Crime happens everywhere in the world. Your local neighborhood has crime, the cities have crime, the countries have crime, and cruise ships have crime. It can be anything from another passenger trying to steal something like a piece of artwork. Remember that story? We also have, some crew members have been caught doing things they shouldn't be doing, and some criminal charges have actually been brought out, which is a good reason that we should always keep an eye on our friends, our family when we're on cruise ships, and always be in a good mood, but always be aware of your situation and aware of your surroundings and be fully aware of what's happening around you. For instance, don't get so drunk that you really don't know what's going on, because that's when these bad things tend to happen, when you're most vulnerable and let your guard down. Your balconies may be obstructed. Now, they have come a long way in offering obstructed balcony views now, but it also depends on where you are and what type of ship you're on. Now, normally an obstructed balcony will mean, or a window, obstructed ocean view. Obstructed ocean views tend to be the worst because they tend to be behind tenders where you're looking at the side of a tender, or at least partially the side of a tender. But balconies can be anything from, you don't have a glass balcony, you have a metal balcony because of the area on the ship you're on. They call that a partially obstructed balcony. So if you don't mind that, you still have ocean views when you're sitting out there. It's not so bad, and you can get them much cheaper than you can a balcony cabin. But some cruise lines still out there say balcony cabin, and you get out there and you can't see anywhere this side of the ship because the ship is sticking out. So you're basically just looking at a side of a ship in one direction. To me, that's kind of an obstructed balcony. If you can't see both down the lengths of the ship, it's kind of obstructed. Number 9, people pass away. The cruising industry, although the younger demographic is now going to cruising, they're heading to cruise ships more and more often, especially with new cruise lines like Virgin Cruise Lines out there aiming at a younger population. But the cruise lines are trying to bring families on board and things like that, but our demographic is still older. The average cruiser is still over 50 years old, and when we're in this type of age, things happen, right? People have heart attacks, people pass away, people have strokes. You hear about, people being airlifted off of cruise ships all the time, or the Coast Guard having to go out and find people? It's because, you know, we have an older demographic. So do people pass away? Yes, they do. And cruise ships, by law, all have to have morgues on board to store people when they pass away. So when people tell me, oh, I think there might have been somebody who passed away, chances are they've passed away on every cruise you've taken at some point. It's not a fun thing to think about at all, but people do pass away. And you know what? If I'm going to pass away peacefully in my sleep or something like that, I'd be very happy if I did it on a cruise ship. And finally, number 10, you are being watched. There are cameras everywhere on a cruise ship, both inside and outside. So if you cause trouble or get into trouble or need to find somebody or they need to find somebody, cameras are out there. They're out there for a reason. They're out there for security. They're out there to make sure our passengers are safe and our crew are safe, and they're looking for things going wrong that they can respond to immediately. And that goes for everywhere, including like your balcony. I know so many people who think, oh, well, you know what? I booked a suite on this cruise ship and it has a hot tub outside on the balcony, and me and my friend, we got a little friendly in the hot tub, and I didn't realize they were being watched on camera, because there's a camera outside looking down, not aiming at them. They're looking to make sure nobody falls overboard. They're looking to make sure the ship doesn't crash. But you're there, and you're there on camera. And yeah, keep that in mind. No matter where you are in a cruise ship, there probably is a camera watching you somewhere, unless you're in your cabin. That's about the only time. And even then, don't walk near the balcony with the curtains open, because the cameras can still see you. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.